Time for our penultimate pre-final of the BNL Karting Series kickoff for 2023. Now it's time for Senior Rotax, and here is your starting grid. So after yesterday, with pole position in time qualifying, 2 heat wins in a second, it's Tommy van der Stroys that starts from pole. Alongside him, his closest competitor this weekend so far, last year's BNL Karting Series champion Kai Gilletts. Devin Rost and Vic Stevens on row number 2. Austin Lee and the Pride of Scotland, Lewis Gilbert on row 3. Jaden Thien and Paul Fokwemin on row 4. Nolan Lemarais and Tobias Billy Clausen rounding out the top 10. Mario Sidler, William Christensen, Taze Dams, Robbie Stordeur, Jamie Perrelly, Ethan Jeff Hall, Sebastian Bach, Zombor Kovac, Kaz Boshaus and Luca Thiel complete the top 20. Jori Schoen, Sverre Ubben, Leon Zelenko, Sam Bergstein, Lawrence Herboz, Dion van Werven, Luke Neeson, Adam Valster, Bram Ossevarde and Artom Sestakovs round out the top 30, completing the 36-strong grid. For those that qualified from the second chance heat earlier on this morning, Marius Rose, Stein Scholten, Jasper Leenerts, Frederik Zebis Christensen, Scott Westhovens and Vincent van Kerkhoffen. So 13 minutes set on the timer. The red lights ignited on the starting gantry as the drivers making their way around this 1,360 metre circuit on the final stages of the official formation lap. So the drivers now heading into the tram lines. Revs rise. It's a full start already. Our race director, Thomas Leiner, opting to send the drivers round for another formation lap. There are quite a few drivers at the back end of the field not getting with the program, so they've now got to reset, refocus, and start it all over again. There's a dry line starting to emerge on the circuit as well. And it could be at that point maybe that we could see the crossover point happening a little bit later on based on track evolution. A little bit later on. But that depends more on anything as to what the weather might do up above as the skies over us. William Curry shouting and giving a shout out for Bram Ossevarde. A lot of people who know about this man is also on YouTube known as Red Actions. There's a lot of karting content. So now it's got to be a pretty much spot-on textbook start. There's now at least the top half of the field are now into position. And now that looks a bit more like it, folks. I do say that second time is a charm. Hopefully that will work out this time, as we are due to have 36 senior Rotax drivers. That's 18 rows of competitors. Right, second time around. Let's give it another shot, shall we? Into the tram lines. The Rotax engines roar into life. The red lights go out. And it's a good start by van der Stroys from pole position. Really, it's trying to keep it pinned round the outside to keep a hold of second in the early foray. As Lewis Gilbert trying to make his way through. He's already jumped up into third position. We've got a yellow flag. There has been a turnaround. One of the drivers has ended up going rally crossing. That might have been Adam Valster in the 327, which I've just spotted out of turn 4 that it is, but it's van der Stroys that leads. Gilletts in second position. Drivers taking very different lines through turn 6, some to the outside, some to the inside. And in these inclemental weather conditions, you're going to get more purchase, a better traction hole shot coming out of turn 6 if you sweep a little bit wide. But there has been a yellow flag off of turn 7. And, well, there is another kart that was on the grass on the exit of turn number 7, as Gilles is now trying to see if he can get through on Van der Stroys. And gets to the inside. Van der Stroys on the outside through turn number 11. Gilles into the lead. And Van der Stroys looking towards the inside, but there's going to be a three-way battle now for the race lead. Gilles gets through, and now it's Austin Lee. Austin Lee was the man waiting in the wings, and now Van der Stroys trying to see if he can make his way through. Devian Rost is waiting in the wings. Van der Stroys back into the lead through turn 2, but Gilles gets the whole shot, gets the traction. But now Austin Lee goes sidewall to sidewall. A little bit of a touch with Kai Gilles, and Gilles slightly off the track, but keeps the throttle pin now through turn 6. Van der Stroys is there. Roos is there. Who else is in there? That's one of the Team UK drivers. That's Lewis Gilbert. So Gilbert is really muscling his way into this as Van der Stroys goes a bit deep into turn 7. They're all over the shop through that part of the track. Devian Ross trying to make it 3 wide through turn 8. Lee to the outside, Gilbert to the inside. Jaden Thien is there in the 380s. Austin Lee was sideways coming out of turn number 9, and Gilles is still trying to put one up on Tommy Van der Stroys. Gilbert gets through on Devian Ross, who runs wide coming out of turn number 10. Oh, this has definitely got the adrenaline flowing, folks, because Van der Stroys is trying to keep Gilles at bay, but Gilles will have the slipstream coming out of the final corner. And look at the train. It's the Van der Stroys train here at Karting Genk as Gilles gets through at turn 2 on this particular occasion. As we start lap number 3, Van der Stroys runs wide, but then he gets the absolute mother of traction coming out of turn number 3, but he's off the circuit. Out of turn number 4, and Van der Stroys gets caught up with Devian Ross going out of turn 5, and they're back into each other again through turn 6. These weather conditions have really upset the apple cart, and now it looks to be a Kraft Motorsport 1-2. It is, because you've got Kai Gilles and Lewis Gilbert leading the way. Austin Lee in 3rd, Jaden Thien in 4th position. And I'm wondering who is in 5th place at the moment. Drivers still making their way through. There's been a turnaround just outside of the top 15, through into turn number 9, and that driver's having to wait. Might be one of the Danes, probably Tobias Billy Clausen in the 322. But Gilles has now started to pull away. 9 minutes and 24 seconds remaining on the clock. Chaotic. SB72 Karting is a complete and utter understatement. There's now Van der Stroys still trying to get through on Devian Rost, and I think that's Nolan Lemahay that might be getting through. Paul Forquemin is in the mix as well. And, well, you can tell that a certain Dutchman is not flying, he's angry. And we are... I think we're just getting started on that one, folks. It was 4 wide. Look at the gaggle coming through turn number 9. Everyone's juxtaposing for positions. Bramos Avada is in that mix, and he gets through at turn 7. It's not easy out there, folks. This is how quickly the concertina effect can happen, and you get caught up in an incident that can turn your race around significantly. Tommy Van der Stroys' left side pod is battered and then some. And then we've got another drama, the 399, that's Luca Thiel. And I think I also spotted the 365 of Yori Schoens. That was coming out of turn number 10. And we still have 8 minutes to go, and Luca Thiel has pulled the 399 Kraft Motorsport entry into pit lane, so he will be the first to retire. Significant damage sustained, I fear. So look at Thiel deciding to pull that cart into the pits. Yori Schoens is way back nowhere. And Tommy van der Stroys finds himself now in 17th position behind Bramos Avarda, who's made his return to the championship after a multi-year absence. He has still been competing in the Chrono Karting Rotax Max Challenge itself for the Netherlands. But Gilles leads, Gilbert second, Austin Lee in third, Jaden Thien, Nolan Lemarais. Then it is the 3-1-3 of Paul Fauquemin from France. He's being chased down by Zsombor Kovac. Now, Kovac had a difficult first heat. He didn't even make the start, and he's up from 18th, now up into 7th position. And Fauquemin is now ahead of Kovac, who is still trying to close him down. That's the battle for P6 on the road. Fauquemin, one of the most experienced drivers in this field. And the pace is starting to increase. The dry line is increasing in terms of its visibility because Kai Gilles now pushing in the 1 minute 8.5 second bracket. Lewis Gilbert about a tenth off at the moment, but between the pair, the gap last time around was 0.864 of a second. Devin Ross at the moment is battling away with several other drivers, including one that has just a couple that have just passed him, and that would be Marius Rose and William Christensen, with the 311 ahead of the 308. And Marius Rose, well, he started 31st. He got through via the second chance heat, and now Lady Luck is somewhat shining on the Dane in the 308. Is Bern Corpino racing here, says Denzel White. No, unfortunately not. But with 5 minutes and 38 seconds still to go on the timer, plus an additional lap, it is still between, I think, for the victory, if it comes down to it, it will be Lewis Gilbert and Kai Gilles. Nolan Lemarais, who currently runs down in 4th place, has just put in a 1 minute 7.6. So the gap between the two leaders last time around was 0.768 of a second after 6 racing laps. But Paul Fauquemin still battling away, I think, with Zsombor Kovac. No, actually, Fauquemin has been left in the dust somewhat because Zsombor Kovac has now made his way up into 5th place ahead of Jaden Thien. So with 4.25 minutes still to go, Kai Gilles has started to extend his lead, and now the times are dropping rapidly. We're getting towards that crossover window at some point, as Gilles has put in a 1 minute 7.2, Gilbert a 1 minute 7.6. Lemarais, on the meantime, has gone nearly a second quicker than the driver in front of him with a 1 minute 6.661, and that is the fastest lap of the race so far. That's a complete lap number 8 as Gilles looks over his right shoulder, sees Gilbert there. Lemarais does the same. Then it's Austin Lee in 4th. 5th, Zsombor Kovac. Jaden Thien in 6th. 7th, it is William Christensen. Then Marius Rose, Devin Rost. Paul Fauquemin now down into 10th place. Last lap for the Frenchman was a 1 minute 10.1. Lewis Gilbert on that previous lap has just put in the fastest lap of anybody. Got the gap down to Gilles to just over 7/10 of a second. 1 minute 6.055. Austin Lee is was a couple of seconds off of the race leaders in terms of pace. 1 minute 8.146. So the track seems to be coming to him as well. Then Gilles responds with a quicker lap, about the best part of 2/10 quicker than Gilbert. Lemaire again goes quickest of anybody, 1 minute 5.482 on lap number 9. So other changes, Dion van Werven has got past Paul Fokwemin for 10th place. Ethan Jeff Hall now rounds out the top 15. There's Sebastian Bach, Kaz Boshuis, Tommy van der Stroys, Bram Ossewaarde and Lawrence Herbols rounding out the top 20. We still have 35 out of 36 runners and riders. Luca Thiel, unfortunately, retiring after the incident with Jori Schoens, who runs in 33rd position at the moment. So Luca Thiel will have to start from the back of the grid for the final later on today. Minute and 38 on the clock to go, plus an additional lap as we complete lap number 10. That gap is stabilising round about sort of anywhere between 7.5 tenths of a second to a second itself. And Van der Stroys has lost out to Bram Ossewaarde for 18th position. Jaden Thien now down to 8th place. Leon Zelenko, who's moved up to seniors this year in the 351, has now made his way up to 13th position. Zelenko started 23rd in this race. But with just over 20 seconds remaining, we're now on what will be the penultimate lap, so lap 12 out of 13. Gilles' lead is just under 1.1 seconds from Gilbert. Lemaire, Lee, Kovac, Christensen, Rose, Thien, Rust and Van Werven round out the top 10. There is Nolan Lemaire rounding out the top 3. Next time around we will get the final lap board as the timer has officially expired. Here in the senior Rotax pre-final. We'll have the final for them, which will be 15 minutes plus an additional lap at 2:40 p.m. That's 14:40 CET. So in the United Kingdom, that will be just after lunch in terms of the time difference at 1:40 in the afternoon. But the last lap board will be shown to both Kai Gilles and Lewis Gilbert as they power their way out of the final corner. There's Nolan Lemaire in 3rd place. The gap between the top two now 8 tenths of a second. And Gilles making his way through turn 6, as does Gilbert and Lemaire as they go down the Europlan for what will be the 13th and final time. Leon Zelenko, in the meantime, has got past on Jamie Perrelli for 12th position. The remainder of the top 20 stay as they are, so does the top 25. As well as the top 30. Good work by Jasper Leenerts, starting 33rd now, up into 27th position, as the two leaders have 2 more corners to go. Turn 11 now negotiated the sweeping left-hander, and Lewis Gilbert is right on the back bumper of Kai Gilles as he goes a bit side. Well, he went to the outside. He tried for a look on Gilles, went sideways out of the final corner, but Gilles wins the pre-final. Gilbert in second. Nolan Lemaire rounds out the top 3. 4th, it's Austin Lee. 5th, it's going to be Zsombor Kovac. A great recovery for the Hungarian from 18th after the ranking after heats yesterday, and now 5th place in the pre-final. William Christensen takes 6 ahead of Marius Roos, Jaden Thien, Devian Rust and Dion van Werven, who round out the top 10. Paul Fokwemin rounds out 11th ahead of Leon Zelenko, Jamie Perrelli, Ethan Jeffel, Kaz Boshuis, Sebastian Bach, Mario Sidler, Bram Ossewaarde, Tommy van der Stroys, Tobias Billy Clausen rounding out the top 20. Stein Scholten, Lawrence Herbold, Sverre Ubben, Vincent van Kerkhoff and Luke Neeson, Days Dams, Jasper Leinert, Robbie Studder and Scott Westhovens with Fredrik Zebis running at the top 30. Sam Bergstein, Anton Sestakovs, Adam Valster, Jori Schoens and Vic Stevens were the last of the classified finishers, 35 in total. And unfortunately, on lap 4, after an incident out of turn 10, we lost Luca Thiel.